Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Joy Life Center, coaching and consulting. It's me, your life coach, Andrea Jackson. Just want to chime in, say good morning. So glad that you're here. We're going to start admitting others into the group. Hold on one second. Good morning. Can anyone hear me?
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you so much. Let's see. Anyone else?
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Well in yourself.
I am well. Thank you so much. Do you guys hear a noise like like a waterfall or anything?
I don't.
Okay. Well, good. Maybe it's just on my end. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your patience and our delay on this morning, our technical difficulty and everything else that has happened. Good morning. Welcome. Welcome. I'm so glad that you guys were patient. You guys held on in there. We're going to be talking today a little bit from the perspective of making new friends. Now, I know that sounds very elementary, but when we're talking about making life changes, we have to surround ourselves with different people. We have to surround ourselves with different influences, different supportive systems, different people, so that not only does our behaviors change, but remember, our mindsets have to change. So therefore, even the support of who we're around changes, the people that we are around, and the people that we are a sphere of influence to, and the people that we influence change. But before we get into that, we're going to start our check-in on this morning. Let's see. I am not sure who was first. I believe Miss Kashara was first. So we're going to start with Miss Kashara. I'm going to blank out for a minute because I'm going to try to find the noise, but I am very well here. Well, Miss Kashara, please go ahead and check in this morning.
Hi, good morning. Good morning to all. Good morning. Um, I am Kashara and I am relaxed on today. Feel like I can go a little further than yesterday. So I'm excited about the group. I'm excited and anticipating all the feedback that will be coming back and forth on today, and just grateful to be here. Grateful to be here. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. And I'm so glad that you're here. Good morning to you. Good morning. Let's see. I think Sister Lupe was next. Good morning, Sister Lupe.
Yes, good morning, all of you beautiful people out there. Um, I'm feeling good. Um, I'm just going for a walk right now at the park nearby, and it feels good. Enjoying the scenery, the little ducks in the pond. So just trying to do something new. If I couldn't hit the gym today because I had an appointment this morning, I went to take a walk, and I realized that it's okay to workout doesn't have to be mean that I'm working out to lose weight, but it's just more of a mental thing for me right now.
Excellent. I love that. Working out works so well in so many different areas of our life, mentally, physically, even our brain work. The neurotransmitters, they get a better circulation. It's great. You're absolutely right. Go for it, girl. Thank you. Let's see. Miss Bianca, good morning. Go ahead and check in.
Good morning, everyone. I'm doing well this morning. I like what Sister Lupe saying there about that walk. Haven't did mine yet, but it is shortly to come, and I'm excited about what we're gonna be hearing on today. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Good, good, good. Sister Lorena, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead and check in.
Um, I am a bit tired. I have had to use all my tools this weekend, and but I'm here. I'm
Okay.
here to reflect, and I'm here to learn. And welcome, everyone.
Welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you survived your weekend. You know, that's the thing about life. Some situations, like she said, I may you need may need to use just a couple of my tools, but there's some situations, thank God I have more tools in the toolbox so I can survive this moment, survive this time, survive this weekend, this month, this year, whatever it is, whatever length span it is of time, so that we can move forward in our lives. One moment is not going to define our whole life unless we let it. One moment has the ability to define our whole life. One life-changing moment can make the difference. But what we're doing is we're changing those moments around, and we're making them for our good. We're making them work for our good so that they can transpose to positive, healthy behaviors. Today, we're going to be talking about making new friends. Wow. Making new friends, because, you know, there are many people that from our compulsive behavior lifestyle that we have accumulated, you know, as friends, as associates, family, you know, and sometimes we have to learn, as we've talked about those healthy boundaries, we have to learn the boundary to set and what boundary I need to set for each person individually. Some people may have to be removed from my circle of influence, period. Some people may have to be maybe just repositioned, but we have to identify them. And some people, we just need to create a whole new circle. This is how come it's very important that in this life change, we become risque in the way of defining new activities, new things we like, new people, not being afraid to say, you know what, yes, I'll have a cup of coffee with you. But remember, being flexible and safe enough so that I'm not saying yes to people that are going to harm me. So I'm going to be strategic about who I let in my circle, strategic about who I'm going to allow in my personal sphere of influence, and that has the power and ability to influence me. We're going to look for like-minded people. So I'm going to read something to you, and then I want to ask you if you know anyone like that. So, a blessed thing is for any man or woman to have a friend, one human soul whom we can trust utterly, who knows the best and worst of us, and who loves us in spite of our faults. I'm going to read it one more time in case you didn't hear. A blessed thing it is for any man or woman to have a friend, one human soul whom we can trust utterly, who knows the best and worst of us, and who loves us in spite of our faults. I want to ask, does anyone have anyone in their life? Do you have a friend like that in your life? Go ahead, unmute your phone and share.
Bianca, I can truly say that I do have a friend indeed when I'm in need. So I can really say that. I can really say that this friend that I have, even though I can share everything, whatever I want to share, whether it be good, bad, indifference, that friend will listen, but will always redirect. Now nobody just gonna high five me and what I'm feeling, accept my feelings, but not high five me and then girl, you right, that's the way it is, that's the way they are, yeah, 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 yeah. But will redirect me to get me back to where I need to be. Because sometimes, you know, when we out there, we um venting or whatever we call ourselves doing, you know, depending on who we do it with, so we can get out even further than where we was when we picked the phone up or called that particular person. So I must say I do have one, and I'm so grateful to have one because friends are far and in between. But when you find one, you better hold on to it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you. I love that. Anyone else? Does anyone else have a friend as described in the poem?
Sister Lupe here. I'm gonna say I got a friend in Jesus. but, but aside of that, I had to cut some people off. I don't have a big circle. I hardly have a circle, half a circle or less. But I realized that, I have friends. Calling a friend, I think it changes. You know, um, you got associates, right? People that you just
Right.
associate with, or you could go for some breakfast or
Mhm.
whatnot. But I can honestly say I have a friend um that I could she'll be she'll hear me out and then give me some feedback, but um the feedback is not, it's in love, but it's truth, is so I appreciate that. And I also had to cut some friends that were putting fuel on the fire, that were just, I would, like Sister Bianca said, I will be worse off than before I started venting. So I had to, whether they had my back and their best interest in me, and they cried with me and they got mad with me. Yeah, that feels good, but that doesn't help the situation either.
Right. Right. That's awesome. I like how you identify who's really in your circle. Like, hey, I may not even have a whole circle. I may have a curve. But that's good because um you're not fooled by who's around you. You have properly positioned them in the place that they are. There's some people, like you say, you can go have breakfast with. There's some people you could call a friend. You know, the great thing is identifying who they are and what role they play in your life. That's wonderful. Thank you, Sister Lupe. Anyone else?
Yes, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. So yeah, I'm kind of with Sister Lupe and and then piggybacking on you as well, Miss Jackson, about the curve
Yeah.
um of a friend. I I can't call too many people friend.
Mhm,
But I have one special friend
mhm.
that I've been knowing since we were both knee high to a duck's back. And we were very, very young. And um, I have sisters, and
Mhm.
I can't even call my sisters as close as I am to my friend. Um, she's always been there, always, no matter what the situation or circumstances are or have been, she's always been there. And I really don't look at her as a friend. I look at her as closer than a friend. I look at her as my sister.
Yeah.
I always tell her she's my friend, my sister. She's my confidant. She's my go-to right here on earth, and I can tell her anything. I can share anything with her, and it won't go anywhere.
Mhm.
There's a trust bond there that has never been broken, and I'm so grateful for her because it's not many people that you can call friend,
Yes.
because you think you have a friend, but you know, at the end thereof, you realize that everybody that say they're your friend, they are not. So, I'm grateful to God, the just the gratification of it. I wouldn't trade her for nothing in the world. We've been through some ups, downs, turnarounds, and we're back here again, and yet we're still friends.
Wow.
Uh, uh, and it's awesome. And when I say I don't have many friends, meaning I am a very standoffish person. And I don't think it just has to do with things that I go through, but I'm very standoffish. I'm a loner, so to speak. I don't press, like I say, for people, because a lot of times we're in that place of standoffish because we've been hurt a lot. And when you're hurt, you push people out of your circle.
Sure.
And those that you know are in your circle, you gravitate to them and you embrace them with everything you have. So and I know in order to have a friend, you got to show yourself friendly, and that goes with what I have in me, because I love, but to pull somebody in my immediate circle, I try not to, very personal, but at the same time, open where the public is concerned. But I just wanted to say that. And as again, piggybacking off of on Lupe, I have a friend indeed, which is Jesus. He sticks closer than any brother. He won't let me down. He has never let me down. He has never failed me. He has never went back and disclosed some things that I've shared with him.
Right.
I tell you, even in the midst of being standoffish, he'll grab me and hold me close to him.
Wow.
and tell me that I'm his own. And I tell you, it's just a blessing. I'm grateful for my friend and for the Lord and for all of you, because it's a blessing to have someone you can call your sister or your brother.
Yeah.
And I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that.
Amen. Amen. I love what I'm hearing. That's excellent. It's amazing that you have a friend from so long ago, but because that's one of the things that we want to talk about is those proven relationships. And I like how, like she said, whether healthy or unhealthy, she's kind of standoffish, not necessarily because of things that she's gone through, but also as a protective of measure. Now, one of the things with that is I like that as I heard it, because not so much the standoffish, but I like how, like she said, when she do bring people, because she loved people, but she recognized that everyone is not fit for my inner circle. Everyone's not fit. And sometimes that's where we can bleed the balance, because we have many people that are very social. I myself, just like Ms. Kashara said, I love people, and I love being around people. I love interacting. But as I shared before, I monitor who I place in my most holies of holies. It's just like the Tent of Tabernacles. It's just like the tabernacle where they have the court, and then they have the temple, and then they have the holies of holy. Not everyone is fit for your court, but at the same time, anyone can be in your court that you decide. Everyone's not fit, but anyone can be there, because that's your public ministry. You have to be mindful of who's in that area of your life as well. But that's kind of the public that, hey, how you doing? Good to see you. You're not going to invite them over. You're not going to tell them your secrets. You're not going to introduce them to your mates, anything like that. It's just a social relationship that's a part of embracing community. Then we get to our innermost, we get to that place where we're bringing in friendships. And these people, they have the ability to influence, and they have the ability to be influenced. So one of the things that we're learning is, do that person qualify for my most holy of holies, the areas of my heart, whereas I'm vulnerable to them. I bring them to my home. I share intimate moments with them. I introduce them to my family and friends. That takes some time, but at the same time, we want to find out who these associates are, and let's kind of examine that. Anybody else have a friend as in the poem? Thank you so much, Sister Kashara. Anyone else? You have any friend that's mentioned like in the poem?
Hey, this is Susu. Good morning to all.
Good morning,
Sorry,
Miss Susu.
sorry for my lateness. I didn't hear the poem. I just got in, but
Oh,
I have a friend. I call a friend. Maybe you all wouldn't call it a friend as I call a friend, but I think I've seen her in about 5, 10 years. No, maybe about 5 years. I haven't seen her talk, but I call that my friend. I don't really have any friends, what as as you all call a friend. But as I heard the others say, I love people. I do what I can. But as far as a friend, I guess some of them is just my family. I don't know. I'm not really a loner, as I heard, but I don't have anyone close like that. Not that I don't desire, but I don't know. That's just me. I don't have any, but that one that's distant.
that friend that you haven't seen or talked to in the last 5 or 10 years, you say?
That's my friend. Too. We started together working back in the 70s, and I don't know, we touch base every so often. That's the friend that I have. So I call it as a friend. I don't have a friend. I have associates, acquaintance, but
Hmm.
friend, nah, guess not.
Well, let me read the poem to you. I think you've already answered, but just so that you're on one accord with everyone. Um, the poem reads, is by an anonymous writer. A blessed thing is for any man or woman to have a friend, one human soul whom we can trust utterly, who knows the best and worst of us, and who loves us in spite of our faults. With hearing that, would you change? Do you have a friend like that?
Oh, Jesus, that's the only friend, true friend I got like that. But I have this other friend that I can talk to. And not only friend, it's my apostle, my pastor that I can talk to, and share all. And I guess that's my friend then too. Jesus, my main friend, and my pastor.
That's awesome. So it's good that you do have someone in your life, whether they're labeled a friend, a pastor, labeled something else, because it may not be a friend, someone, it may be a family member that's slash friend, because all family ain't friends. So,
That's right.
so that's awesome. So it's good that you have somebody in your life that can kind of go in line as our poem reads today. That's awesome. Thank you, Miss Susu. I'm so glad you joined us this morning. Anyone else for our next go into our next question?
I'll be in and out because I'm kind of multitasking, got to get the slab work stuff together. So I'll try to listen when I can.
Okay, thank you for that. So I'm going to ask a question. Have you become like the people around you? And I want you to think about that, and I want you to kind of give me some details. Have you become like the people around you? Don't be quick to answer. I want you to think about that, because in our unhealthy behaviors, whether they're the ones of current or the ones of past, one thing that we want to do is we want to see the power of the influence around us, the friends around us. I think back to my days of drugs and alcohol when I noticed, I remember my ex-husband and I having a conversation and him saying, I remember when everyone I knew were people that did not use drugs. They were low riders because he was into low riders and stuff. He said they were low riders and, friends and family. But he said he noticed over the years, he said that his phone book, this how long ago that was, his phone book, his address book, before we had all these cell phones, automatic press one, press the picture, but his phone book was filled with those people. But once he got into drugs and alcohol, he acknowledged after how his circle changed. He said, now I don't have no one in my address book that doesn't use or drink. Everyone that he calls, his address was full of people that use a drink. So sometimes the behaviors that we walk in, the mindsets that we change, we begin to gravitate to the people that are like-minded, right? So even in our compulsive behaviors, even in our unhealthy behaviors, we find ourselves gravitating to the unhealthy behaviors and gravitating to those that are like-minded. So if we're dealing with people that enable, people that are angry, people that are using drugs, people that are watching their phones all the time, addicted to the internet, any kind of habitual behavior, we notice sometimes we gravitate to them. People that are depressed, people that are whatever, whoever we are in that moment, we gravitate to people like them. I like the truth of the word, the principle that says, forsake not the fellowship of the saints. Forsake not the fellowshipping of the saints, because why? Because in the multitude, there's safety. Therefore, iron sharpens iron. Therefore, we strengthen one another. We uphold one another. We give counsel and strength and encouragement and motivation to one another because we're like-minded. We're all walking out the same principles of faith. So therefore, when you start straying, sometimes other people in your circle can see you straying before you can actually identify. So I want to ask you, have you become like the people around you? And I want you to give me some details. Explain. Go ahead, unmute your phone and share.
Sister Lupe here. I believe in the saying said, you are who you tell me who your friends are, and I'll tell you who you are. And I'm sorry, I was doing a little bit of exercise right now.
We can hear
I'm
it
out
now.
of breath. I know I'm out of breath now. So anyhow, sorry, I probably should have waited.
No, go ahead.
I realized that when I hang out with people a little bit too long, or when I gotta realize that I do have an addictive personality. So if I do something too much, I might get too comfortable in that area. Like if I hang out with coffee drinkers, right? Then I'll be drinking coffee all day. If I just on my phone, then I might just get too comfortable and look at my phone. If I hang out with certain people that like to gossip, even in the church, gossip about certain people, then I start gossiping as well. Because sometimes we make friends just because we agree that we don't like this person.
Okay.
And I have to realize that just like when I was little, and the area that I grew up in was a lot of drug use and gang banging, I became a product of my environment. So
yes,
I try to keep my environment, even if it's by myself sometimes, away from certain people, because I know that the person that I used to be, I gotta be careful that I do not hang out with people that I used to be. Because even though I don't want to be that person anymore, and I don't like that old me, I kind of really see it's something in me likes that.
Yes.
Like addicted to drama. I used to be addicted to drama. I used to watch this drama shows, right? Reality shows and whatnot. Next thing you know, I was over here fighting with my ex-husband, like, because I thought it was cool, right? Or with whatever, thought that being an attitude, a baddie or whatever you call it was the thing, right? And it's not like that in reality. That's just TV show, right?
Off script, it don't work.
It didn't work for me. But what I'm saying is that a part of me, because I grew up in so much dysfunction and trauma and chaos, I know that there was a time I was addicted to that. So when I see that and I start listening, and I think it's funny, it's like I got to remove myself, even though my flesh wants it, because my flesh still wants those old behaviors.
Yes.
So I really just gotta right now I'm basically probably got like one or two people in my curve, because I had to really dismiss a lot of people, and not because they were bad. It's because it's not letting me grow, and I'm in a place of healing right now. So I definitely need to just, be able to just be okay, learn how to love me, be okay, and serene and not in solitude, but just be able to enjoy my own company.
That's right. That's right. Oh my goodness. I love that. Thank you so much, Sister Lupe. I love that. You know, in identifying the power of your circle, and like she said, I became a product of my own environment and identifying how powerful my circle is, but also identifying what's inside of me. Because I've grown, we're not who we see on TV. My husband, when we was dating, and one of the things he told me, because when I was going to take him to meet my father, and I'm telling him the do's and the don'ts, don't say this, don't say that, this, that, and the other, please don't do this, and I remember him saying, honey, we're not the Huxtables, we're the Jacksons. And I got offended. I was like, what? Da, 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 da. And I had to stop and think, girl, we ain't the Huxtables. What does that even mean? Before you get offended. But I had to realize that I couldn't paint a picture of somebody I was not, of something I was not. So a true heart of healing, like Sister Lupe said, is first, let's identify what captivates me. Let's identify what it is that lures me, that deviates me. Find out my lures. The Bible even talks about how you could take one piece of something and kind of lure a person around. I forgot the scripture verbatim. Please forgive me. It didn't come to mind on time. But how one little thing is a lure, like a carrot before a horse. You can guide him here and there, wherever you want to go, because he's after that carrot. Why is he after that carrot? Because it's something in him that likes carrots. It's something in him that likes it. And we have to find out, what's that something? Do I like drama? And being accepting of it. Owning it. When we talk about, I love how Sister Lorena always talking about being aware of what's inside of me, not trying to ignore it and act like that don't exist in me. Even things, we even talk about those generational behaviors, generational curses, generational practices, and things like that. We have to identify what's inside of us. What has come inside of us because of genetics? What has become inside of us because of our environment, the people that are around us? But we have to identify who I am inside so that we'll know what not to be lured by and to protect those parts of ourselves. So that was awesome, Sister Lupe. Sister Lupe, thank you so much. Anyone else? Have you found that you've become like the people around you? Go ahead, unmute your phone and share.
I'll share. As Sister Lupe was talking, my mind kind of went back back in the days.
Mhm.
I used to stay on the 117th Street, which they call the 7th Street Watts. So that's where I was. That's where I stayed at after I moved from Compton, right? And
Okay.
so that street will be lit. I mean, you want drama? Go to 7th Street. That it was always something going on over there. And even when I moved off of that street, I found myself needing to go back over there because I knew it was gonna be some kind of entertainment on that street. Because when we moved over there, it was like me, my mom, and my auntie, the one who raised me, we always stayed in the same, not far away from each other.
Okay.
Same block, one block over, or something like that.
Okay.
So in reality, I did have a reason to go back to the hood,
Right.
but the truth of the matter is that was not the only reason why I would go back to the hood, right? It would be because of all of the excitement over there. I mean, you want to see a fight? It gonna go down. You want to see people get drunk? It gonna go down. You
Down.
want a gambling game going on? It's going down over there. It's just like all the time. It's no pause, it's no stop, it's just full speed ahead over there. So when Sister Lupe was speaking about that, I was like, wow, I remember those days. It was just so enlightening.
Yeah.
Sometimes I couldn't even stay at my own house. I just had to go over there.
Yes.
I had to go over there because that's just what I was raised in. And I go all the way back from a kid where I lived in Missouri. It
Oh, wow.
started way back then. You know, my house where I lived in was a house, but on the weekend it became a gambling shack. It became the alcohol house. It became the drug house, and then Monday morning it went back to a normal house.
Wow.
So I was raised up in that kind of a lifestyle. So it was already in me. And
Right.
even though I didn't realize it was in me, I didn't realize it wasn't in me because I did not participate in it.
Okay.
But yet and still it was
The
in me
part.
because I was excited about going to see different things like that as I got older, because
Yeah.
that's really all I knew. Today I would like to say that because I have my life has been changed.
Mhm.
Drama is something that don't I really don't care for
Mhm.
at all. I don't care for it. I don't care what's going on. I don't want to be a part of it's going down over here and all kinds of stuff. But that came through growth. I didn't just wake up one morning and say, "Oh, wait, no more drama for me,"
Right.
But it came through growth, it came through experience, it came through a change of mindset. And I would like to say today that the people that God has put in my life and the people that I have allowed to come into my life, because everybody can't come in my life as Miss Katura. I guess that's
Shara.
Kashara, yes. As she spoke, also, it's like I love people, but I have my guards up, and
Mhm.
it's only a selective few that I will allow to come in, and everybody else have to just be on the outside into the public.
Mhm.
So I would like to say today that the ones that God has put in my life that I know has been a positive role model, I
Mhm.
would like to say that if I'm not fully there, I
Mhm.
would like to say that that's where I strive to be each and every day of my life. I strive to be right there. But
Excellent.
I am drama free on today. I can say that much. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And these are the reasons why sometimes we have to learn how to reset the brain. There was a message that talked about changing generational curses concerning Abraham and his son Isaac, and how Abraham worked so hard to obey God, change his life, obeying God, moving away from his family and, being obedient to God, to where he was able to purge some of the behaviors and curses that was on his bloodline. One was the barrenness, because his wife forever wasn't able to conceive, but God gave a promise, and it was hard to receive that promise because everything that he had seen in his past, all the years that was behind them, they were never able to conceive. And so now in the next generation, like we're talking about today, the influences that are around us in the next generation, his son Isaac, who was the promised child, now he's learned from watching his father to obey God and now walk off and ward off some of the curses. So there were some things that he didn't have to go through because of what he saw his father do. His father worked hard to purge the bloodline of that barrenness, and he did. So when Isaac came and he married his wife Rebecca, she had a barrenness issue. But here it is. Isaac had seen, he was influenced by his father's works, and he just continued to entreat of the Lord for his wife. And it took 20 years, but she got pregnant. So we find the influence has a lot to do with our brain reset, the influences that are around us, step by step, one by one, day by day. Everything counts. And this is how come we want to commit to a process of life change. So we find that I like how Miss Bianca had said, you know, she found herself, even though she didn't partake in the dramas of her home, but she found that as she grew, it was a part of her. And this is one thing that we have to look at as we're selecting friends for our closest. Am I selecting this from my healthy self, or am I selecting this from myself that has been groomed over the years? Maybe unhealthy self, maybe the self that I'm trying to change. So we have to see what part of me is selecting this person to be a part of my influence. So that's awesome. Thank you so much. I'm gonna go to the next question, because we see now that we do become like the people around us. So it's very, 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 very important that we be a little bit more strategic on who we put in our personal circle. It's good to love everyone. You know, we can love and accept people for who they are. Everyone's not going to qualify for your most holy of holies area. But guess what? We can find here that there are some, you may go through 20,000 people and just find one person that qualifies as a friend. But we're going to go on. What is the difference to you between a friend and an acquaintance? Go ahead, unmute your friend. Go ahead, unmute your phone and share. What's the difference between an acquaintance and a friend? Somebody talk to me.
You're so funny, Apostle. Unmute her. I think Mr. Lupe here. You just have me cracking up. So fun. Oops.
Oh, Lord.
For me, I would say an acquaintance is somebody you could only share so much with.
Mhm.
You could talk about maybe work, school, what the Lord has done in your life, but I think it doesn't go to secrets, sharing very intimate things with them, and also the trusting you could only, I feel like with your friend, you feel like you could trust them, but with an acquaintance, it's to an extent. So there's a boundary line there.
Good, good. I love that definition. I love that. That trust factor is something that defines a friend versus an acquaintance. That's a healthy boundary. That's excellent. Anyone else? What's the difference between a friend and an acquaintance? Anyone want to take a stab
Well,
at it? There you go.
well, I think, as I was saying, I have a friend, and again, there's no holds barred, no limits to what we've been through. That I could share with anyone personally.
Mhm.
But an acquaintance is someone, it's very limited. So it's a need to be basis
Okay.
with acquaintance. I mean, we see people every day. Um, uh, we have to, especially as who God has called us to be, we have to definitely be cordial with other people.
Mhm.
But a friend, again, is someone that sticks closer than any brother, sister, as if they were. And there is minimum things that you can share, that you can open up, that you can reveal in your personal life with an acquaintance. It's some acquaintance is just business wise. It's it reminds me of the 3 Ps. They fit in that public setting, not the private, and definitely not the personal.
Right.
But acquaintance is someone that you have to deal with, or you can deal with, but with arm length. You just have to be there. And even if it's someone that needs you, you have to be there you have to give your spirit fully, but you don't have to give your personal input, your personal heart then to that individual. Acquaintance is just what it says, someone that you are or have come in acquaintance with. And again, I say, hopefully I'm putting it, the whole nut in the shell,
You got
to
it.
deal
You're
with
very
them.
clear.
Yeah, to deal with them just really on a need to be basis.
Yeah.
They could not fit. They cannot be categorized as your friend, because that's totally different. It's two different situations and two different relationships.
Excellent. Very well said. No, we got you. We got you. I understand that. And I love how she identified that associates are on a need to know basis. You know, not there. It's a whole different world from the friend and the associates. I love how Lupe said there's a trust boundary. And then Kashara said there's a need to know. Our interaction with the associates is on a need to know basis, you know, because some of those associates are not just general associates. Maybe they're only associates for work related stuff. Maybe they're only associates for church related stuff. Maybe only associates for kids karate stuff, etc. So that's awesome. Thank you so much for that. Anyone else? Our question is, what is the difference between a friend and an associate? Okay, well, we don't see anyone struggling to get off mute, so I'm gonna go to the next question. I think everyone agrees with what's been said so far. Now a question, where can you make some new acquaintances that might become friends? So now we've we've identified or defined the two, associates and friends. Like how Kashara said, they're total different relationships. So how, where can you go to make associates that may become friends? Go ahead, unmute your phone and share.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to take up all the space, but
Go ahead. Go ahead.
want to definitely give someone else a chance. But I think, you know, in the situation of being believers, there's a chance, you know, that you can gather or get to know that individual to a point of seeking a relationship.
Okay.
Again, you know, you be trying to use choice words, trying not to ridicule anyone, you know, but it could be possibly a safe place to be in search. And when I say not even looking for it, because again, I made a statement before, in order to have a friend, you got to show yourself friendly.
Right.
So, but because we're in the household of faith, we should be able to at some point have some type of possibilities.
Okay.
Possibilities of getting to know an individual, and hopefully and praying that something good could come out of the relationship, starting as brothers and sisters, and possibly ending up some type of friend. No, because one thing about it, if you're in a setting long enough, you're gonna get to know that individual for who they are. Something, the positives gonna show up, and also the negatives gonna show up. So you're gonna see it either way. Some things that you can put arms down on, and just keep praying about it, and you may see the change, and it may become, you could become close to that individual.
Mhm.
But it's always going to be the trust factor. Can I trust this individual? And they'll prove to you whether or not they're trustworthy, of your, or being loyal with possibilities of being a friend.
Okay. I like that. I like how you said that there are possibilities. Where can you go to meet some of those possibilities?
God bless you. This is Sister Lorena.
Hey, Sister Lorena.
I have found friends even on the internet
Okay.
that have done things that my closer circle never did.
Mm.
I met a friend through a ministry that I follow. I remember that I had to move. I didn't have my deposit, and she went out of her way. She's okay, let's pray about it. And we prayed about it. And she sent me the money for my deposit.
Wow.
And at that moment I was like, wow, you know what? This woman doesn't know me in person, but that's a friend. This is someone that I can, we can pray together about stuff and tell each other some stuff and support one another. And it wasn't about the financial need that she helped provide, right? It
Mhm.
was the act of service
Wow.
that has also taught me that I shouldn't be afraid of also providing the same for somebody else, no matter if I don't know them personally through face to face.
Mhm.
God has also provided, the technology so we
Yeah.
can connect with people near or far.
You're fine.
I had another person provide another need for me. I didn't have money to buy my baby clothes for school, and she was going to start school in a week. And this person, we also prayed about it.
Mhm.
And I have more than 7 years connected with these people. I have not known them in person, but I know that I can call them or
Wow.
reach out to them. We can pray about it, not necessarily provide my financial need, but so that's one place I have found friends. Of course, church, um, the rooms of recovery.
Mhm.
I have even met people on bus and that have became friends. Maybe not my inner circle, right?
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
still connection. So you could basically find friends anywhere if but you have to have discernment, right?
Mhm.
I'm gonna just say that discernment. Um and then know who you are and how you are and what people it's wise to connect with and what people is not wise to connect with. And I have learned that throughout the years because I have had to cut off so many people, not bad people,
Right.
just if we're not going in the same direction and we don't have the same goals, or even if we don't have the same faith foundation, as
Right.
much as I love you, I can't kick it with you because I
Right.
know me.
Right.
So yeah, thank you for letting me share.
Thank you for sharing that. I love that. We can find some possibilities of the possibilities of finding associates that can possibly turn into friends, like you said, on the internet. Of course, you want to use discernment, you want to use caution, but at the same time, the internet originally was created for connection, people connecting. We look at Facebook, we look at Instagram. Yeah, not Instacart, Instagram, and even Instacart, you connect with other people. So that's awesome. So the internet, anyone else, where's another good place where we can meet these possibilities? All right. All right. Thinking, thinking, thinking. I think I heard Kashara say, even in the body of faith, you know, whether you at church, whether you at a Bible study, whether you at a singles meeting, you know, whether you in women's study, men's study, you know, taking your child to choir rehearsal, intermingling with other parents. In the body of faith, you can meet friends, you know, excuse me, you can meet associates that can become friends. When your children are engaged in sports, you know, karate, football, soccer, foosball, whatever it is, you kind of engage with the people. But we also have to be discerning, as Sister Lorena said, as well as cautious, because we want to be mindful. Just because we're in these places and we're laughing at the same things or we're celebrating the same things, it doesn't mean that we're compatible. And if we go back to like what Sister Lupe said, some things we identify touch us, a certain part of us, and bring out that ugly in us. Why am I laughing at this? Why am I doing that? Why am I now going there with them? So this might not be the right influence. Where is another place that you can go and you can meet associates that can become friends? Okay, we'll go to the next question. We can pretty much almost go anywhere, right? To find some possibilities, to find people. Go to a bookstore. It's kind of like who you're like-minded with. You know, if I'm a believer, then I'm not going to go to the Satan worship temple. I'm not going to go to the club unless that's a part of my belief. You know, for me personally, I don't do the club. You know, it doesn't say anything about anyone that does, but this is just where I am in my process with my faith. You know, I don't go to the clubs. Now, if I do go to a club, it's to support someone, because I like how my husband say, where you go doesn't define who you are. There's some things that I've gone with my husband to support him. You know, I wasn't one of the workers that was a part of. I wasn't one of but I was there in a support measure. You know, I wasn't receiving the award. I wasn't a part of the Teamster program. But guess what? Sometimes we're in some places. Now, would I meet friends there? Maybe not as likely, but I might. You know, when we start talking, we find our similarities. And I think that's another thing in this world today, post-coronavirus, even though I know coronavirus is not gone, but post-coronavirus, we have to learn how to reconnect and make new friends, reconnect. A lot of people are angry. A lot of people are withdrawn. A lot of people are still dealing with what came with the isolation that we experienced from the safer at home order. So when we find this going on, we have to identify these behaviors. So when we go these different places, and I like how Sister Lorena said we have to be discerning and we have to be cautious. And I like how Sister Kashara said, you know, we have to be mindful, you know, that anyone can be a possibility. A possibility meaning they can become an associate that has a possibility to becoming a friend. So anywhere that you go, but let's go to safe places. Let's not go to places that awaken that drama seeker in us. Let's not go to places that contradict who we are today. Let's not go to places expecting associations. You know, sometimes men and women are looking for spouses and they go to the club because it's a lot of gathering. It's a lot of people there, beautiful people, you know, and sometimes we go there and then when you hook up with someone, you start noticing all the differences. Well, you went to a place where you would meet people that's not like-minded. Yes, you can meet your forever mate and you can be with them forever and things will be wonderful, you know, but when we're taking intentional steps, we're not going to go into places that we're not like-minded with to try to identify someone that is like-minded. you know, we want to stop living our lives so aimlessly. Whatever comes up, comes out. Whatever God puts in front of me. God lets us know faith without works is dead. So not only are we going to say, God, hey, whatever you do is good with me, but we also going to put some strategic works in place. We're going to also make sure that we position ourselves in right places. We're going to do the work that needs to be done in us. We're going to invest in us so that we can, like Sister Kashara said, if we want a friend, we can be friendly. We don't have to, our uglies don't have to be first and foremost on the frontlets of our heart and our mind. So our next question, unless anyone want to answer the last one, I know a lot of people are multitasking this morning, but do you know some people that you want to share, or excuse me, some places that you want to share where you can go to find associates that have the possibility of becoming friends? Anyone want to weigh in on that?
Sister Lupe here. I think for me, I just gotta put myself out there. Kind of probably go places where I like to go, like maybe like a Zumba class or a yoga class. That way I know for sure we share the same interests.
Yes.
Maybe Bible studies and things that I enjoy to do, even walks at the park. And I find myself saying good morning to everybody. I'm like, wow,
That's right.
you know, and so it changed my mood just being out and about and enjoying the sun and the scenery. So yeah, I even do going hiking, some trails, like things that I enjoy to do. I would love to find people, make friends there. That way we for sure have something in common, a common interest.
Awesome. I love that. I love that. I love that. Looking for that common interest place where people are gathered there for the same common interest that I have. So I'm less likely, not saying 100%, but I'm less likely to connect with people that are contrary to me. But at the same time, I'm more likely to connect with people that are like-minded with me and share the same interest. I love that. Thank you. Anyone else before we go to the next question? Okay, our next question today is, to whom are you a friend? Who are you
I
a
am so
friend?
sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
I was trying to get my phone off of me. You know, as Lupe was speaking, you know, I think about even some workplaces, you know, where you've been there for a number of years, and I've seen people get really close
Yeah.
in the workplace. Even in schools, you know, even in school, you know, my baby always come home and say, "Oh, my best friend," you know, but it was a possibility because they shared the same interest. Oh, she like this, just like me, you know, and I found that in people as well. Especially in the workplace. Was on my job for maybe almost 15, 16 years.
Wow.
And I grew very close to people when and you know, even and then, you know, always have to revert back to the associate factor. But even there, you know, I would get up in the morning and just couldn't wait to see the individual because we have so much in common. When I say common, as far as being able to talk about church or being able to I love to cook. So one young lady she was a cook as well, and we would talk about, well, we would bring food, you know, and we just the interest. And even now today, she calls me not often, and she always says, you know, I'm gonna come, you know, come to church with you and everything, you know. And I've been telling my friend, but now I am serious, you know. And I that warmed my heart because we're still connected. And we you know, we're I'm very fond of her because she was very real. She was you know, very very loving. When some of the other people would, start things and say things negative,
Wow.
she would always say, well, I don't see her like that. I'm sorry, that's your opinion of her.
Wow.
She's my friend.
Yeah.
And I love that. Real quick, and just another situation where one of the young ladies at the job that I was working on, she just didn't like me for some reason. I don't know. She just didn't like, she picked at me and did everything. And then I remember a point in her life where she was really down in her relationship, in her home with her daughter. And I just, asked her, say, well, can I pray with you?
Wow.
And I tell you, the tears begin to roll down her eyes. And after that point, even now today, she moved all the way to Arizona. But even in that point, she told me she wouldn't bet nobody mess with her, So she accumulated, she saw something in me, which was, she could say, my friend, she always said that. That's you. Hey, friend, So we can go various places and accumulate or potentially find someone that you can call a friend or again, an associate, but it could lead to a friendship. Years, like I said, these people I've been knowing for years, and we're still in contact. So, you can go to different places and find someone potentially to be a friend.
That's amazing. I love that. Like you say, you could be at work, you could be at school, and we do develop those relationships with people because people need people. People connect with people, and it's just being mindful of who we connect with. And I like how Sister Kashara, earlier on, she used the scripture where if you want a friend, you have to show yourself friendly. But like she said, she practiced the same thing she believed when the lady didn't like her. She showed herself friendly when the lady was down and was going through issues of her own. And she said, hey, well, can I pray for you? Breaking the power of the dislike or the power of the barrier that keeps us from being associated, keeps us from being connected, keeps us from possibly being friends. She took the step to break the power. Can I pray with you? And that broke it. And she prayed with her. And now here it is, even though they live in different states, they're still in connection. So sometimes our differences stand and blare louder than our similarities. And that's how come it's important that when we meet people, it's the thing that goes on. Whereas, you just look at a person and don't like them. Let's find out, what is it in me that have automatically repelled that person? Sometimes it's countertransference, which means you meet someone that counterly has transferred onto your memory, onto your triggering, someone that reminds you of them, and you're treating them like that person. Maybe that person abused you. Maybe that person didn't like you, and now you're treating them like that person, and they don't deserve that because they're not that person. We have to learn how to give everyone a fair shake. Or maybe they trigger you, or maybe it's something that you feel spiritually where you just, you're not cool with what you feel, but you kind of maybe just apply what you feel to the whole person. So it's a lot of things that we have to figure out in ourselves. But I love that, like you say, she crossed that barrier where the lady didn't like her by being friendly, And I think that that's something that we all need to do, is just to be friendly and break the power of the dislike. It doesn't mean they're going to become your friends, may not even be associates, but it has a possibility to become. So I love that. Thank you for that, Kashara. I love that. So, whom are you a friend to? To whom are you a friend? We find in the poem, we identify who's a friend in that way, who's that loved one in that way. But I want to ask you, who are you that friend to? Go ahead, unmute your phone and share. Bianca, are you trying to say something?
Hello.
I see the phone unmuted, so I thought you were about to share.
Um, I was going to share earlier. I was going to share. I remember being on my job, and you know how people they have so much of a influence over you.
Mhm.
And so you kind of stuck with that person. You know, you consider ride or die. You know, go ride till the wheels fall off and all that other stuff. And I
Mhm.
remember that particular person was my boss at that time. And so there was another lady that was coming in, and she was going to take over the school, and she was going to be the new boss or whatever. So I remember my boss telling me about this lady, and I could tell that she didn't really care for her.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
because she didn't care for her, I was like, oh, okay.
Automatically, yeah.
Okay. You don't care for her? All right. Well, she come try to take over our school. Well, who is she to come take over our school? She just got here. I think she was from uh Indiana or somewhere she was from. And so you know, I stood my grounds with this lady and everything else. But I tell you, when that new boss came into that office, and when she just started, you know, doing the things that was not being done, it was like, wow. And I had to stop what I was thinking about this lady because I did not even know the lady. Only heard from what my other boss had said about her. Had no idea about her. I didn't know nothing about this lady. But because she was who was over me, because we had connected, because she felt like the lady was coming to take her job, and I was like, oh, that's not good. That's not nice. That's not whatever. I
Mhm.
joined allegiance with her.
Right, right.
And I found out later on, because this lady, she came in. I mean, she showed herself friendly to me. I mean, she just everybody who came through those doors, I tell you, I was the last man standing. That's the favor that I found in her eyes.
Wow.
I was the last man standing. Everybody who came in and out that door, they came in and they went out too.
Mhm.
They had all the credentials, everything, all the licenses and everything else. But that lady right there, she did not throw me out that door.
Wow.
And we became very, very close. Very close. We became very close. This lady, we were so close that when she would leave and go out of town, she the boss. When she would leave and go out of town, and we had paying we it was a daycare. And so there was some that paid through state and there was some that paid financially out of their pocket. This
Right.
lady would go out of town, and I tell you, I would be walking around with $5,000 to $7,000
Wow.
on me. She never thought I would take nothing. I mean, it was just like if I had not stopped listening to that other woman,
Mhm.
it was so many blessings that I
Wow.
was missed out on. So many blessings. This woman blessed me. Every time I turned around, she was trying to do something for me. Every time I turned around. So it's very important that we just don't tie up with people just because, like you said, somebody said, you know, because somebody else don't like them.
Mhm.
So I ain't gonna like you either.
Right.
So that was something I want to share with her. I tell you, it was open eye for me. It really was. It was a lesson.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
gained wisdom from that, you
Yeah.
know, to know better and to do better. Thank you.
Awesome. I love that. I love that. Because sometimes we do. We just kind of side with what we know, who we know. And because of that, sometimes we never grow into new possibilities because our associations can keep us bound on a certain level or it can bring us up. You know, some friends and our associates in our life can kind of cause us to grow, cause us to stretch, cause us to be better than where we are, but we got to give that opportunity. So I love that. Thank you for sharing that. That
I
was an
want to
awesome.
share. I want to share one more thing.
Okay.
The former boss. the
Mhm.
one I was in allegiance with,
Mhm.
her, she was stealing my money. I mean, she would give me little pennies and nickels and, dimes and
That's
stuff.
why she was your friend.
Yeah. But when the new boss came in, she was like, "Oh no, we gotta give you more money than this. Oh no, there's no way they should be doing you like this, because I was one of the longest standing teachers over there.
Right.
But the one that I connected with was the one that was taken from me, the one that was smiling in my face and stabbing me in my back every day.
Ooh.
And here it is, this lady, she came in, and I'm telling you, she put that whole school on the map. The
Wow.
whole school was on the map. I'm telling you, she brought it from a zero all the way up. So
Wow.
yeah, and she made sure I got my money too. Thank you.
That's excellent. That's excellent. Awesome.
It's,
Forget-
I'm sorry. I would go. And today, even though she's moved out of LA and she's back to her hometown, even though we still keep in contact to this day. At least once a month or so, we go either I'm gonna call her or she gonna call me, and she gonna
Wow.
check in and see how I'm doing, and vice versa. To this day,
Wow. To this day. Wow.
Yeah.
What about you and that previous boss?
she don't like me.
Huh?
She don't like me. She don't like me at all.
Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. That
Yeah.
is hilarious. The things we learn. And that's the thing. Nobody's perfect and no situation is perfect. And we have to be ready for change. We have to be ready for change because I love that how situations evolve. What you think you had, you really don't have. But what we could block could be the best thing that's cooking for us, could be God's gift, his answer to our prayers. That's amazing. We're running out of time. We want to ask one last question, and I'd like to hear maybe in brief from each of you. What behaviors do you need to change to be better able to have honest relationships? What behaviors do I need to change in order to have these healthy relationships with people? What behavior do you identify in yourself that you need to work on in order to have these healthy relationships? Go ahead, unmute your phone and share.
Hi, this is Lupe. For me, I believe that I have to learn how to be my own friend first.
Okay.
Um, how to be friends with God, because it seems like he listens to me more than I listen to him. So and just being loyal to myself and that self-care for myself, being there for me, not ignoring the signs that my body calls out if it needs
Yeah.
to stretch or it wants to eat vegetables or drink water. Like, be
Yeah.
there for myself before I can even imagine a relationship with someone else. Learn how to be friends and be friendly, be friendly, and that way, because I know how to make friends. Is keeping the friends,
Okay.
so I think that I've in the past, the way I've made friends is being there for them. So
Mhm.
the minute that I can't be there for you, it's like I'm not your friend no more. I'm questioning.
Oh.
So I think I should be somebody who wants to be my friend shouldn't expect something, um, or me to. I mean, I think friends is about that. You need money or you need me to be there, then that's good. But it shouldn't be just that.
Just that.
And I realized with some of the friends that I let go, when if I wouldn't answer that 911 or I didn't check in on you, then I'm automatic questionable. And I
Oh.
think that friends don't have to talk to each other every single day.
Right.
You don't have to have coffee every day. As especially as mothers, we're busy, so we
Yeah.
have our own lives, and if someone could respect that, then you know, I think, and then that will be a beautiful friendship. But yeah, I need to learn not to go above and beyond for someone,
Mm.
and I don't get that back. But I'm okay with that because I don't expect that. I already made that boundary where it's like, well, I know you're not gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it.
Right.
So
right.
I sometimes I give more than I receive, and when I don't give, I don't know how to make friends when I don't give. So I need to set that boundary that someone should like me for who I am, not
Right.
for what I could give.
I love that. I love that because sometimes we do friendship in some people's eyes equate to meeting my needs, and that's why we ask the question, who are you a friend to? Whose needs are you meeting? At the same time, if our friendship is just about need meeting, is that really a friendship? Or am I just somebody that's reliable in your life? Or you're someone that's reliable in my life that when I have a need, I can call on you. So I like that, Sister Lupe. You're going to stop giving so much to identify a true, authentic friendship in the realm that you think it should be, rather than just in the barter system. Or because some people, I like how you said, some people don't show they love the same. I may show my love in ways where maybe I'm just going to always be prayerful for you. Maybe I'm just going to always try to maybe give an encouraging word or whatnot. Maybe I can't meet your needs, but then that person is always meeting my needs. That's a friend. Now, if the relationship is healthy in that factor, because I like how Sister Lupe say everybody don't friends, adult mature friends have a life. So we're not going to be able to talk every day. We're not going to be able to go to the park every day. But will our friendship survive that? Have our friendship evolved to a place where it's secure in that? If I don't call you, all of a sudden I'm your friend. If I'm not there at your divorce, all of a sudden I'm not your friend. If I'm not, those things. So I like that, Sister Lupe. Anyone else? What behaviors do you need to change in order to have honest relationships or better honest relationships? Go ahead and unmute your phone and share.
Good morning.
Morning.
Okay, so you know,
Your phone is
I
on
would say
mute. Oh, there you are.
okay. I would say for me, um, just the trust issues. If I could change that, if I can learn how to be more open
Okay.
and not close myself because of issues in my past. Um, and that's a great thing, a great dishonor for me because of the issues that I have of distrust.
Mm-hmm.
I believe if I can work on me uh, and the trust factor
Mm-hmm.
and try not to be so standoffish,
Mm-hmm.
um, to give other people the benefit of the doubt, because some people hurt you doesn't mean that other people have to
Everyone,
pay.
exactly.
You know, um, when you are familiar with the hurt, you see that in everybody. It's just like if somebody get ready to, if you've been abused and somebody been hitting on you physically, all of your life, when somebody go to hug you, you're gonna throw your arm up because you think that they're gonna hit you as well.
Right.
So I need to practice more, um, just with self, learning how to give other people the benefit of the doubt, give
Wow.
them a chance
Yeah.
before making accusations falsely and not really understanding or getting to know that person,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and not being so withdrawn.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
I see that. Sometimes I see a firmness in myself that I don't always like. I won't say don't like. I don't always
Okay.
like. There's a time and a place and a season for everything.
Mhm.
But when people need you, you have to be available. Now I am. One thing I can say, I love people overall, but I'm very choosy of
Yeah.
who is in my space.
Right.
So,
Right.
and some of it is because of trust. A lot of it is because of trust. A lot of it is because of hurt.
Yes. You're on mute again.
um, I want to work, and I need to, and I will work on me. Um, and to be honest with you, this is the beginning of it.
Okay.
This is the beginning of the help that some of us are crying out for,
Yes.
because sometimes we don't know how
Don't know.
to be friendly. We don't know how to trust. We don't know how to um um give people the benefit of the doubt. We don't know how, because we've been so bruised and battered in some areas.
Yes.
But I would definitely say, for me, that would be two of the main things. There's never been a love issue for me, but it's always been a trust issue.
Yeah.
And I need to work on that. That's what I'm doing. That's why I'm here, because I need to work some of those things out in me,
Yeah.
so that I will be able to trust, and people will trust the decisions that I make,
Okay.
and not because they think I'm mean, or think I'm fogey, or think I'm stern, or think I just don't trust them.
Mhm.
So that's what I'll say. That I'll say trust. Definitely.
Awesome. Awesome. I love this. I love this. What are the barriers inside of me that's stopping some of these possibilities of associates becoming friends? That's awesome. That's all the time we have today, guys. I love you guys. I salute you guys. You guys are amazing. You know, this life change thing is not a walk in the park. Sometimes and some moments are better than other times and moments, but overall, guess what? We're just going to stay committed to the process, and it's going to work if we work it. I like how Bianca always say that it works if you work it. So we're going to continue identifying the things that our eyes are giving attention to in us, and we're going to stay committed to the change, and we're going to live free. God bless you guys. I want you guys to have an amazing Monday, and I will see you all on tomorrow at 9:30, and we'll be back again with another life-changing topic. God bless you guys. Have a great day.